right, shifting focus to the big story of the day, the dramatic political developments unfolding in Sri Lanka. Let's get you the latest. All right, the big update that we are tracking is that Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who was supposed to resign tomorrow, is now thinking of making a U-turn. Sources say that President Rajapaksa has hinted to the opposition that he will not resign until a safe passage is provided to him and his family. He will not resign until Rajapaksas are given safe exit from the country. Negotiations are on with the opposition, but no party is willing to accept this suggestion so far. 3 days ago, President spoke to the Speaker and conveyed the message about his resignation. But in the last 40 hours, he's not mentioned about his possible resignation on Wednesday. Now, sources from Speaker's house want a safe passage for him and his family to leave the country before sending in his resignation. Remember, last night, at the international VIP departure, his brother, Basil Rajapaksa, was stopped by the Immigration Department and the airport staff. And today, all staff at Silk Route VIP corridor has called off services to prevent the exit of Rajapaksa family and before they leave the country. For more on this, I'm joined by my colleague Priyank, who's been getting us all the ground updates from the Sri Lankan capital, where this mega crisis is unfolding. Priyank, thank you for joining us. It's been a very hectic day for you, I'm sure, because these developments are so fast-paced. Now, in a dramatic twist, Rajapaksa, the president of Sri Lanka, has said that he will not resign until he gets a safe passage. Does he fear a possible arrest? Because right now he enjoys immunity from arrest given that he's president.
Yes, Sati, and as expected, because Gotabaya Rajapaksa have already been changing his stand. First of all, he sacked all those cabinet ministers. Then his brother, Mahinda Rajapaksa, was, had to resign from the post of the Prime Minister. And now, as before this particular day of 13, before all these people have been waiting here in Sri Lanka, Gotabaya has once again come up with a fresh proposal that he will step down only when there is a safe passage which is being given to him as well as to his family member. We are not only talking about Gotabaya because he is the president. There have been several members of his family who have been holding the cabinet portfolio. Around 7 of them were cabinet ministers, plus one of them was also the prime minister of the country. So this is not only about him or his family members having a safe passage, but this could also be about the business interests which the Gotabaya and Mahinda Rajapaksa could had in Sri Lanka. So overall, if you see, there's a deal which is happening in between the opposition party and the proposal which has been given from Gotabaya Rajapaksa. But it's already 9 p.m. and you can see these are the hundreds of people who are still coming out from the president's house, which clearly show that the people wants him to step down. The kind of massive support which has been given to all these protesters who came up with the concept of Go Gota Back has given this kind of popularity and this kind of strength to the protesters that even those people who are eyeing for the position of the president of the country won't be in a position to give this go ahead to this proposal which has been given silently by Gotabaya Rajapaksa. What we know that he is still in the country. Yesterday we saw that Basil Rajapaksa, who was the finance minister of the country, because of whom the country's economic condition has gone to this kind of turmoil, was attempting to flee away from the country, and there was a massive opposition which happened at the airport. So taking note from that, since Gotabaya knows that India is not accepting his presence when he wanted to flew away from Sri Lanka in an Air Force aircraft from Sri Lanka. Neither China has also helped him. He wanted to go to Mali, which has also been ignored. So what Gotabaya and the family members want is a go-ahead from the opposition party leaders so that they can easily go away from here. We'll have to wait and watch for that, but before the countdown could actually begin, Gotabaya has taken a fresh U-turn and he has given the proposal to the opposition on which the opposition is certainly not accepting on.
All right, Priyank, please stay on with us. These are important developments that you're sharing with us. Now, what's happened today is that according to reports, a petition has been filed in Sri Lanka's Supreme Court seeking an interim order restraining former Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and other influential officials from fleeing the country. Priyank, what do we know about this? Because so far, what has come to light is that Sri Lankans are not just angry with the Rajapaksa clan, they're also not allowing them to leave the country. The level, the magnitude, the scale of anger is such that they want these Rajapaksa brothers to be held to account.
Yeah, because when President Rajapaksa wanted to leave the country yesterday, there was the airline staff also opposed, and all those staff members who were present also, protested against him. There's a silver passage which is being given in Sri Lanka for those VVIPs, which has also been blocked, and all those people who were working there have also gone on vacation and forced leave. They are saying that we won't be allowing that. In the meanwhile, there was a fresh petition which was moved before the apex court here, so that the Rajapaksa should be stopped if they are trying to flee away from the country. But looking at the situation when the houses have been under siege, the President and Prime Minister house is already under siege. They have been, attack on the family members. It is very much possible for the Rajapaksas to actually leave the country, which they have ruled over the period of decades. So it's up to the court whether they will be allowing these people to leave the country or not. Because actually on the ground there is no, criminal proceeding which is going against these family members. So whether the court will be also in a position to stop them, it's certainly up to the court to decide. But the countdown is certainly beginning, and all these people who you just saw in my frame have been coming out from the President House, and what they are saying that they wanted to see it before the President House is actually given to the new president. So the hope is still there. But Gotabaya has taken a new strategical move where he has once again thrown the ball on the opposition side to decide them that what is going to happen in the next few hours. So it's going to be a very interesting development which is going to come out from Sri Lanka. But the biggest trouble for the law enforcing agencies here is that if Gotabaya does not resign tomorrow, what will happen to the city? Because there have been lakhs of protesters who are still on their toes, hoping that Gotabaya will be actually stepping down from the post of the president of the country. So we'll have to wait and watch what is going to happen here. We'll be certainly updating everything, every minute detail to our viewers who have been watching us and minutely observing that what is happening in Sri Lanka through our channel.
Right. Priyank, one last question. We've spoken about the politicians, we've spoken about the high and mighty. I wanted to understand from you, because you must be observing what's going on in Sri Lanka. What is the life of an average Sri Lankan national at the moment? What is the crisis? What are the daily challenges they are facing? Because I think it makes for great optics for people to go and occupy the presidential palace, to be there. But the people are actually suffering, which is why they had to take this extreme step.
See, it starts from the basic need, because the rice is the staple food of Sri Lanka, and Gotabaya Rajapaksa, when he came into power, he stopped the procurement of fertilizers so that organic food will be grown in the country. So the people are away from rice, which is their staple food. That's the basic necessity. We are talking about petrol, which is 550 liters according to the Sri Lankan rupee. If you calculate it in terms of Indian rupee, it would be around 175 rupees per liter. If you talk about diesel, it's 500 rupees for premium diesel, which means that around 150 to 160 rupees is being given by these individuals. If you talk about the car, I'll just show you. Pankaj, if you turn around, this is a sedan car which is stationed here, and you will be amazed to know that the price of this car in Sri Lanka could be of 65 lakhs. So you can imagine that kind of trauma which these individuals had to go through because of the policies which the government has come up. The schools are shut because there are no buses, no fuel, students are unable to go to their schools. People are unable to go to their offices because they cannot afford petrol. Even if they can afford petrol, the availability of the petrol is certainly not there at the petrol station. The supply chain is certainly affected by various means. India has been helping them, but the need of the hour is more fuel, more power energy, more food for all those people who have been living here. And that is something which starts from the early hours. If you don't have electricity at your home, how will you start your day? Even if you start your day without taking a shower and without brushing your teeth because there's no water supply, how will you reach to the office? So from the very first basic need, the country has been affected so badly that it has been trillions of dollars which is still pending on the Sri Lankan government. And that has happened because if someone can afford a Maruti 800 car, China came up with a proposal that we are giving you loan to buy a Mercedes. And if that loan has been taken by Gotabaya Rajapaksa, why these people will have to face the brunt of that? Because the government in Sri Lanka could not pay back the money which they lended from other countries. Now they are eyeing on going to the IMF, but even if they go to the Indian Monetary Federation, International Monetary Federation, they will be unable to pay back because there are very harsher means which are taken by the IMF if they give loan to a particular country.
Right.
So starting from point A to point Z before they go up to their sleep, the people are certainly traumatized and disgusted by the policies which has been taken by the government, and that is the anger which has been clearly seen on the ground since 3.5 months.
All right, thank you so much, Priyank, for getting us those updates, those developments that are unfolding in Sri Lanka as we speak. All eyes are on Wednesday, that is tomorrow, whether President will resign or whether he'll keep this condition of allowing safe passage to himself and the family. Only then will he quit. This is something that we have to wait and watch. Now, as the island nation continues to grapple with the unprecedented economic crisis, the Lankan government has roped in its army to oversee fuel distribution in the countries. People continue to queue up for hours outside petrol and diesel stations.
There is no government in place, and the President and the Prime Minister, both of them, are not visibly seen. There is a heavy deployment of the armed personnel, including the Air Force personnel, which has been done on the petrol station here in the city of Colombo. We have been observing that there's huge queue of line which is quite visibly seen. The local police personnel along with the Air Force commandos are trying to control the situation. There you can see the Air Force personnel are right now trying to talk to these people who have come here in search of fuel. There have been long queue which is quite visibly seen. So on the ground, the defense personnel have been brought here. The people who have been coming here in long number, the queue is subtly increasing here. On the other side, they are also waiting for the formation of the new government so that the situation can be brought under control. But till the time, the high measures which can be taken for the monetary issue, the situation will be remaining just like this.
All right, shifting focus to our second most important story of the day. We are talking about the inflation. Now, no relief for common man from high inflation, which is above the 7% mark. Yet again, there's a minor relief, minor change from last month. We're talking about June, where retail inflation is at 7.01%, above the 7% mark for the third month in a row. And the figures continue to remain above RBI's comfort zone, which is 6%. The retail inflation is ruling above the RBI's upper tolerance limit of 6% since January 2022.
Well, today we got two macroeconomic numbers. One, we got the CPI, that is the consumer price inflation for the month of June, which came in at 7.01. And we also got the index of industrial production for the month of May, which came in at 19.6. Now, both these numbers are more or less within estimates, and that is the good news. As far as inflation is concerned, in fact, inflation news has grossly overtaken industrial production news, so I'll focus on inflation. The good news, as I said, it's come more or less within what market was expecting. The second piece of good news is that it's marginally lower than what we saw in the previous month. The not so good news is that the third consecutive month when we're seeing inflation over 7%, it is the sixth consecutive month where we're seeing inflation over that 6% band, which is the upper tolerance level for the Reserve Bank of India's inflation target of 2 to 6%. So clearly we're not out of the woods. We'll have to see what the US Fed does when we get the US inflation data tomorrow. And based on that, the Fed is likely to raise their own interest rates by 75 basis points, and that's going to lead to some more outflow. In fact, it's going to aggravate the outflow of dollars from India. And what does that mean for us? It means further rupee depreciation. So whatever correction we see on the oil front, that might be offset by the depreciation in the Indian rupee. And that is going to impact especially imported inflation. So we're clearly not out of the woods. But as of now, I think we have reason, if not to celebrate, to be cautiously optimistic, because the first quarter number for inflation has come in lower than the RBI's own estimate of 7.5. But going forward, I think it's going to be an uphill battle. We'll have to see what our own Reserve Bank of India does in the first week of August.
Right, moving on, let's talk about the big political update of the day. We're talking about the cracks within the Maha Vikas Aghadi alliance in Maharashtra. Now, what's happened is that Uddhav Thackeray has decided to back NDA. Sources say Congress President Sonia Gandhi is all set to appear before the Enforcement Directorate on July 21st in connection with the National Herald money laundering case, alleged money laundering case. Sonia had earlier sought more time from the Enforcement Directorate for appearing due to her health issue. Sources say that Sonia Gandhi will appear on July 21st and that Congress will remain as combative as they were during ED's questioning of Rahul Gandhi and will most likely protest on the streets this time as well. Rahul Gandhi was also questioned extensively by the Enforcement Directorate in the same case. Congress has called the examination of the Gandhis as centers intimidation techniques. All right, for more on this, I'm joined by Ranjita on the broadcast. Ranjita, अब ये तय हो गया है कि सोनिया गांधी जो है वो इन्फोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट के समन्स का जवाब देंगी 21 जुलाई को। जो सोर्सेज है वो बता रहे हैं कि 21 जुलाई को ईडी उनसे पूछताछ करेगी। और क्या ज्यादा जानकारी दे सकती हैं आप?
बिल्कुल, देखिए, कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष सोनिया गांधी को नेशनल हेराल्ड मामले में ये जो नोटिस है ये पहले भी मिला था, लेकिन उस दौरान सोनिया गांधी कोरोना पॉजिटिव थी और क्योंकि कोरोना संक्रमण की वजह से उन्हें अस्पताल में भी भर्ती होना पड़ा था, इस वजह से उन्होंने ईडी से कुछ समय मांगा था कि वो ईडी दफ्तर कुछ वक्त बाद जाएंगे, क्योंकि डॉक्टर की ये हिदायत थी कि वो टोटली रेस्ट करें। लेकिन अब जो खबर निकल कर आ रही है कांग्रेस के सूत्रों के मुताबिक, ये पता चल रहा है कि 21 जुलाई को सोनिया गांधी को जो समन दिया गया है ईडी की तरफ से, उसके बिहाफ में वो कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष सोनिया गांधी ईडी दफ्तर पहुंचेंगी। नेशनल हेराल्ड मामले में जो भी पूछताछ करनी है ईडी को, उसमें वो शामिल होंगी। और ये भी कहा जा रहा है कि जिस तरह राहुल गांधी से ईडी ने 5 दिनों तक पूछताछ की थी और उस दौरान कांग्रेस के कार्यकर्ता और नेता दिल्ली की सड़कों पर दिख रहे थे, न सिर्फ दिल्ली बल्कि देश भर में इसके खिलाफ कांग्रेस पार्टी ने प्रोटेस्ट किया था। और उन तमाम चीजों को लेकर एक बार फिर कांग्रेस के नेता और कार्यकर्ता दिल्ली की सड़कों पर दिखेंगे। कांग्रेस इस बाबत प्रोटेस्ट भी करेगी, लेकिन 21 जुलाई को सोनिया गांधी ईडी दफ्तर जा रही है, इस बात की जानकारी कांग्रेस के सूत्रों के द्वारा दी जा रही है।
एक तो इन्फोर्समेंट डायरेक्टरेट जो कि गांधी से सवाल पूछ रही है और मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग केस में, और दूसरा जो गोवा में हो रहा है, इन सब के बीच राहुल गांधी जो है, ऐसा रिपोर्ट्स कह रही हैं कि वो अभी देश में नहीं है, वो किसी यूरोप विजिट पे है। तो कांग्रेस के अंदर किस तरीके का मोराल है, किस तरीके के सेंटिमेंट्स हैं? क्योंकि ऐसा माना जाता है कि जब भी बहुत बड़ी आपदा आ जाती है कांग्रेस पे, तो जो उनके मेन लीडर्स हैं वो उस वक्त सीन पर नहीं होते।
देखिए, निश्चित तौर पर कांग्रेस पार्टी पर इस तरह के आरोप लगे हैं, खासकर लीडरशिप को लेकर। कई बार न सिर्फ कांग्रेस जो विपक्षी पार्टियां हैं, जो दूसरी पार्टियां हैं, वो आरोप लगाते रहे हैं, बल्कि कांग्रेस के अपने ही बड़े नेताओं द्वारा इस तरह के आरोप लगते रहे हैं। G23 जो नेताओं का समूह था, उन्होंने भी यही बात कही थी कि एक सशक्त कांग्रेस को लीडरशिप की जरूरत है और उसकी भरपाई कांग्रेस पार्टी नहीं कर पा रही है। गोवा की जो स्थिति है ऐसी ही स्थिति देश भर में कांग्रेस पार्टी की है। जहां सत्ता में कांग्रेस है वहां भी जो नेता है वो नाराज चल रहे हैं, क्योंकि उन्हें ऐसा लगता है कि पार्टी उन्हें वो जगह नहीं दे रही है जिसके लिए वो हकदार है। वहीं दूसरी तरफ जिन राज्यों में, ज्यादातर राज्य ऐसे हैं जहां कांग्रेस पार्टी सत्ता में आने के लिए जंग लड़ रही है, लेकिन जिस तरह के और नाराजगी कांग्रेस के कार्यकर्ताओं में है, पार्टी का ये मानना है कि टॉप लीडरशिप तमाम चीजों की जानकारी होने के बावजूद भी उस तरह से एक्शन नहीं ले रही है जिस तरह से पार्टी को काम करना चाहिए। और इन तमाम सवालों के बीच राहुल गांधी का विदेश दौरे पर जाना, ये बताया जा रहा है कांग्रेस की तरफ से कि वो अब पर्सनल टूर पर गए हैं और 18 जुलाई से जो मॉनसून सत्र होना है उससे पहले वो वापस आ जाएंगे, यानी संडे तक उनके वापस आने की बात कही जा रही है। लेकिन इन्हीं चीजों के कारण कांग्रेस पार्टी पर और लीडरशिप पर लगातार ये सवाल उठते रहे हैं। खासकर बीजेपी ये आरोप लगाती रही है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी और खासकर राहुल गांधी जो है वो पार्ट टाइम पॉलिटिशियन है, और पार्ट टाइम पॉलिटिशियन भारत की राजनीति में नहीं चलेगा। यहाँ 24/7 आम जनता के लिए, पार्टी के लिए काम करना पड़ेगा।
जी रंजीता, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया जानकारी देने के लिए। सो वील हैव टू वेट एंड वॉच हाउ these developments unfold. Sonia Gandhi all set to appear before the Enforcement Directorate on July 21st, whereas questions are being asked again as far as Rahul Gandhi's international trip is concerned. Shifting focus now, we're talking about politics, and this time about Tamil Nadu. The fight for Jaya's legacy is getting uglier and more intense. Now, ousted AIADMK treasurer OPS or O Paneerselvam has now written to the Election Commission calling the AIADMK General Council meeting illegal and that the resolutions passed in the meeting invalid. OPS has also written to banks where AIADMK has fixed and current accounts. He has asked the banks not to allow anyone except him to operate the AIADMK accounts. Let me tell you, in a key meet on Monday, OPS was expelled from the AIADMK party, after which violent clashes broke out between the two factions as soon as EPS was announced the General Secretary. The AIADMK office was sealed, after which the EPS camp moved the Madras High Court to unseal the AIADMK headquarters. The court will now hear the plea tomorrow. Meanwhile, the Chennai police have registered an FIR against 400 people today in the clashes that broke out yesterday. Right, so this is the latest. Tomorrow is an important day as far as the fight for Jaya's legacy that continues and is getting intense by the day. We'll try and speak to important voices on this story to understand what options do both OPS and EPS have, because decks are cleared for EPS's. It's all set, it's all known, it's all confirmed that EPS is going to take over the legacy, take over the AIADMK. However, OPS is not ready to accept it. He's just not given up just yet. For more on this, Dharini joins us for more. Dharini, it seems that every day the OPS camp is trying one option after the other in order to stay. They are not giving up just as yet. For the benefit of a national audiences, could you help us understand the options that O Paneerselvam has in order to retain power? Because EPS is going to be in charge of the AIADMK, but OPS doesn't want that to happen.
Well, OPS is clearly having only two options in his hand right now. One is to approach the Election Commission of India, and the other is to approach the courts to take the legal route. He's planning to take up both the options. In fact, today he has written a letter to Election Commission of India telling that yesterday's Central Council meeting was totally illegal. And he's also told that all the 16 resolutions that were passed during yesterday's Central Council meeting, they were all, invalid. So he has, written this detailed letter to Election Commission of India telling all these things. And on the other side, he is planning to take up the route too. In fact, he's consulting with his legal experts to file a petition either in front of the Madras High Court or the Supreme Court of India, to take claim of the party back, to stall Droupadi Murmu from functioning as the party's interim general secretary. So that petition also we might, see it very soon, because he's consulting with his legal expert right now. Yesterday even on the record, he told that he's going to take the legal route. So that's one confirmed thing he's going to do. As I told, OPS is trying both the ways, the legal way away and the Election Commission of India away to take claim of the party back. But on the other side, the Edappadi Palnisamy faction, they are preparing themselves to face all these battles because, now that APS has become the interim general secretary, the game hasn't ended yet. In fact, the tussle has intensified, and the EPS faction, they should also be ready to face all these legal battles, and they should be ready to argue in front of the Election Commission of India to maintain the control of the party. So they are preparing from their side to face the same. Meanwhile, both the factions, the EPS faction and the OPS faction, they have filed petitions in front of the Madras High Court to remove the seal from AIADMK party's headquarters. Remember, yesterday, as there were huge protests in front of the AIADMK headquarters, the revenue officials, they came and sealed the party office. So now both the factions have approached the Madras High Court to remove the seal, and both of those petitions, they're coming for hearing tomorrow. So we'll have to wait and see what the court has to say on it.
All right, Dharani, one more question, if I may ask you, is about how is the DMK viewing all these developments in the AIADMK camp? Because I'm sure that this dissent, this tussle for power within the AIADMK is not happening in isolation. All political observers, including the ruling government in Tamil Nadu, is keeping a track of it, isn't it?
Yes, that is very true. In fact, all eyes in Tamil Nadu, not only the political parties, even the commoners, all eyes are on AIADMK right now as to what's going to happen further in this political party. In fact, yesterday when Edappadi Palnisamy was talking after becoming the party's interim general secretary, he told that OPS is maintaining a secret relationship with DMK, and that he is indulging in activities that are against AIADMK's principles. So he put forth this big accusation against O. Paneerselvam, telling that he has joined hands with the DMK government and he's doing everything that's against the AIADMK party. But on the other hand, yesterday evening itself, DMK MP R.S. Bharati, he met the president. He told that the AIADMK that both Edappadi Palnisamy and O. Paneerselvam, that they are trying to drag DMK into this issue unwantedly, and he told that the DMK party doesn't have any role to play about in what's happening inside the AIADMK, and he has told that they're like completely away from it and that they do not want to comment about it too. But until this point in time, in fact, none of the DMK ministers, be it the chief minister or the other cabinet ministers, they haven't spoken anything about it. So the DMK is, at this point in time, it's maintaining silence, but they're definitely observing what's happening, and they will also be, tactizing their way of politics with what's happening in AIADMK, but they're maintaining silence and they're not coming on record and telling anything.
All right, thank you, Dharani, for those updates. So tomorrow is a crucial day. We'll have to wait and watch how this OPS versus EPS saga takes shape. Moving on, we're getting some breaking inputs from Maharashtra. All right, these are the visuals that you see on your screens. BJP Solapur District President Shrikant Deshmukh caught on camera allegedly sexually harassing a BJP Mahila Morcha leader. This is from a hotel room. Arunil is joining us for more. Arunil, what details can you share with us as far as this incident is concerned, and has the BJP leadership taken note of this?
This is all under the ambit of allegation, but very serious allegation over here by the BJP woman worker over here, Mahila Aghadi worker, basically saying, alleging that sexual harassment was done against her by the district president of Solapur, Mr. Shrikant Deshmukh. He can also be seen in the video. Now, whether the BJP leadership in Maharashtra, including Deputy CM Devendra Fadnavis, or the party hierarchy in Maharashtra and across India will pay cognizance to this very extremely serious allegation, that we will be keeping a close eye on. But yes, it is under the ambit of allegation. The BJP district president from Solapur has been accused of sexually harassing a woman worker, and the woman leader only posted this video, made this video and posted it. Right.
All right, thank you, Arunil, for these updates. And moving on, let's get you the latest as far as the monsoon fury is concerned. Heavy rains wreaked havoc in Karnataka. The weather department has warned of heavy rainfall in the state for the next 5 days. Kapila River in Mysore and Varda River in Shivamoga district was seen overflowing in full spate. Connectivity to nearly 7 villages has been affected in Shivamoga as well. Karnataka Chief Minister visited Kodagu, where a landslide took place. The Chief Minister has assured that there's no shortage of funds for relief and rescue work. All right, let's get you the latest from Gujarat, where heavy rains continue to lash the state. And there is a flood-like situation in Rajkot. Residents living in Rajkot's lower areas have been asked to remain alert. Several parts in south and central Gujarat received heavy rainfall, resulting in a flood-like situation from where over 6,000 people were shifted to safer places. Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel inspected flood-affected areas in Bodeli. Gujarat government also held a meeting on the rain situation in the state. All right, let's get you other stories as far as monsoon fury is concerned. It's a quick update from across the country. Now, flood water entered the newly allotted bungalow of Union Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia in Bhopal. The staff was seen draining the water all night long. Six people died in Maharashtra's Nagpur after an SUV sunk in flood water. The SUV driver tried to cross a water-filled area, but the water flow was so strong that the vehicle got caught. Rains have caused havoc in Nasik. Red alert has been sounded, which is an extremely heavy rainfall has been predicted for the district. Godavari River was also seen overflowing. Nasik's Surgana town was submerged by torrential rains. As you can see in the visuals, the town was transformed into a river and homes submerged. Incessant rain yesterday filled up 94% of the crucial Khadakwasla Dam in Pune, keeping in view the forecast of more heavy rainfall. Authorities discharged water from the dam. After torrential rain in Uttarakhand's Kedarnath, heavy sheets of water were seen falling from a hill to the Bhairav Gadera walkway. People in raincoats were seen trying to cross the walkway. Kerala is on high alert as heavy rains continue. The gushing water swept away a jeep in Kannur. Shifting focus to another big story of the day. In a major drug seizure in Gujarat, more than 75 kilos of heroin worth over 370 crore rupees was seized at Gujarat's Mundra port. Now, the drugs were hidden inside a consignment of textile rolls. The ATS found the drugs inside 64 rolls out of 540 in the consignment. Investigation suggests that the container had come from Dubai and was to be delivered to Punjab by train.
કાપડ ઇમ્પોર્ટ થઈ રહ્યું છે, દુબઈથી આવી રહ્યું છે, પણ એક શંકાની બાબત હતી. તો ફાઇનલી વિગતવાર ચેકિંગ કરવામાં આવેલી, કેમકે સામાન્ય રીતે તો એમાંથી કંઈ ખ્યાલ નહોતું આવતું હતું, નોર્મલ કાપડ હતું. પર જે કાપડનું જે રોલ હોય છે એ રોલમાં આખું કાપડ ઉતારીને જ્યારે રોલની અંદર ચેકિંગ કરવામાં આવ્યું, ટોટલ 4000 કિલો જે છે એ કાપડ હતું અને એમાંથી ટોટલ 540 રોલ હતા. એ 540 રોલમાંથી 64 રોલમાં આ રીતે હાઈ ક્વોલિટી હિરોઈન મળી આવેલ છે અને એની અંદર ટોટલ 75.3 એટલે 75 કિલો હિરોઈન એની કિંમત જે છે એટલું કિલો થાય છે. કિંમત 376.5 કરોડ મતલબ 375 કરોડ જેટલી રૂપિયાની કિંમત છે. એફએસએલમાંથી ચકાસણી કરવામાં આવેલ છે અને હાઈ પ્યોરિટીની છે.
All right, for more on this, I'm joined by my colleague Amit on the broadcast. Amit, आपका बहुत-बहुत शुक्रिया. मुंद्रा पोर्ट पे पहली बार नहीं हो रहा है कि इतनी बड़ी तादाद में ड्रग्स मिले हैं. आज जो ऑपरेशन हुआ एटीएस का, उसके बारे में आप क्या ज्यादा जानकारी दे सकते हैं?
देखिए, बिल्कुल ये एक बहुत बड़ा कंसाइनमेंट जो है ये पंजाब के लिए मंगाया गया था और ये गुजरात एटीएस को जो इनपुट मिला था उसके अंदर पंजाब पुलिस की तरफ से जानकारी दी गई थी कि गुजरात के मुंद्रा पोर्ट पर एक टेक्सटाइल के कपड़ों के आड़ में हेरोइन को भेजा जा रहा है और उसी के मद्देनजर गुजरात एटीएस की जो टीम है और विशेष तौर से गुजरात एटीएस के जो एसपी हैं दीपन वद्रन ने वहां पे मुंद्रा पोर्ट पर जो उन्हें जानकारी थी उस कंटेनर को रोका और वो कंटेनर जो है वो अचानक जो लोड होने वाला था और उसी दौरान ट्रेन में लोड होने से पहले उसे रोक लिया गया, उसकी जांच की गई और जिस तरह से आप विजुअल्स में देख रहे होंगे कि कपड़े के जो रोल हैं उन रोल की रॉड के अंदर जो लोहे की रोड है उनके अंदर लाकर पंजाब भेजने का प्लान था और पंजाब में संगरूर एक जगह है वहां पे इसे भेजना था. तकरीबन ये जो ड्रग्स पकड़ा गया है ये 375 करोड़ रुपए का ड्रग्स है और फिलहाल जिस दुबई से जब ये कंसाइनमेंट वहां से निकला तो अभी पुलिस को शंका हो गई थी जब गुजरात पुलिस को जानकारी मिली पंजाब पुलिस ने दी क्योंकि दुबई से टेक्सटाइल की चीजें कभी भी गुजरात के अंदर आती नहीं है ना भारत के अंदर आती है तो इसी को लेके पूरी ऑपरेशन किया गया है. अभी गुजरात एटीएस इस मामले पे जांच कर रही है. इसमें एक बंगाल की एक जो एजेंसी है उसका नाम सामने आया है. बंगाल में उनका ये ट्रांसपोर्टेशन का शिपिंग का बहुत बड़ा बिजनेस है. वहां पे ये पूरा कंसाइनमेंट बुक हुआ था और वहां पे ये कंसाइनमेंट उनकी गांधीधाम जो ब्रांच है कच्छ की माफ करिएगा कच्छ की वहां पर ही ये पूरा कंसाइनमेंट उतरने वाला था लेकिन उसके बाद में इसका प्लेस जो है वो चेंज किया गया. उसके बाद में इसे कंडला की जगह मुंद्रा पोर्ट पर उतारा गया और उसके बाद परते दर परते जब खुलने लगी सामने आने लगा मामला तो ये बहुत बड़ा मामला जो है फिर से एक बार गुजरात एटीएस ने सफलतापूर्वक इसका ऑपरेशन को पूरा किया है. माना जा रहा है कि 4 से 5 लोग इस रैकेट के अंदर भारत के अंदर भी जो जुड़े हुए हैं उन्हें भी अभी पुलिस ने राउंड अप किया है लेकिन उन्हें अभी उनके नाम डिक्लेयर नहीं किए गए हैं. पूछताछ की जा रही है और कौन कौन ड्रग माफिया इसके अंदर जुड़े हैं उसकी पूरी जांच आने वाले दिनों में गुजरात एटीएस करेगी और बड़े खुलासे भी करेगी. जी
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया अमित ये जानकारी के लिए. All right, moving on, the Supreme Court has extended the interim bail of Alt News co-founder Mohammed Zubair till any further orders. A 5-day interim bail was granted to Zubair on 8th of July, which has now been extended. The next hearing is set for 7th of September. While the court has asked the Uttar Pradesh government to file its response in 4 weeks, Zubair's plea in Apex Court challenged the Allahabad High Court order, refusing to quash the FIR registered against him by the UP police for a tweet. However, this is separate from the case registered against Zubair in Delhi. Remember, in Delhi, the Patiala House Court has deferred the hearing on Zubair's bail plea for July 14th. This after the Delhi Police Council sought time to make arguments in the matter. All right, for more on this, I'm joined by Harish on the broadcast. Harish, although the Supreme Court has granted relief to Mohammed Zubair, he will continue to stay in jail.
Yes, that's right. The Supreme Court today extended till further orders the interim bail granted to Mohammed Zubair 5 days back because it was expiring today. This after this, the lawyer appearing for the investigating officer in the Sitapur FIR case has sought more time to file the reply in reply to Mohammed Zubair's petition to seeking quashing of the FIR against him. Remember, he was arrested for calling 3 Hindu seers as hate mongers. But what is interesting is that Zubair will not walk free because, as you rightly said, he is under judicial and police custody in 2 other cases. In the Delhi case, he is in custody till July 16th, while in the Lakhimpur Kheri FIR, yesterday a local court had remanded into judicial custody till July 26th. So though the Supreme Court has extended his interim bail till further orders, since he is in custody in relation with two other FIRs, that is in Delhi and Lakhimpur Kheri, he will not be walking free. Therefore, there is no effect of the order. In fact, he has not got any relief, though the Supreme Court has extended his interim relief till further orders. So, as of now, the Supreme Court will hear the matter next on September 7. Remember, the Uttar Pradesh government had, on the last date of hearing, vehemently opposed any bail, saying that Mohammad Zubair was part of a larger syndicate which tweeted to destabilize the country, and he is into this habit. He's a habitual offender who is indulging in promoting enmity between two groups and two communities, and always indulges in outraging the sentiments of a particular community. Back to you.
Thank you, Harish, for those updates. Moving on, drugs regulator DCGI has approved Serum Institute's vaccine to treat cervical cancer in women. Serum Institute owner Adar Poonawala tweeted that the launch is expected later this year. Poonawala also said that the Indian vaccine will be affordable and accessible to all. Moving on, former United Kingdom Chancellor Rishi Sunak has emerged as one of the early candidates to hit the threshold of 20 supporting Conservative Party members of Parliament for his nomination to compete for the post of leader and next British Prime Minister. The deadline to narrow down the shortlist to just two remaining candidates is July 21st. The new leader is due to be announced when the House of Commons returns on September 5.
Boris Johnson is one of the most remarkable people I have ever met. And whatever some commentators may say, he has a good heart. Did I disagree with him? Frequently. Is he flawed? Yes. And so are the rest of us. Was it no longer working? Yes. And that's why I resigned. But let me be clear. I will have no part in a rewriting of history that seeks to demonize Boris, exaggerate his faults, or deny his efforts.
And it's a comprehensive victory for India in the first ODI versus England. India has won the match by 10 wickets. Indian bowlers dished out a superb display to bundle out England for 110 in just 25.2 overs. Opting to field first, the pace bowling duo of President Bumrah and Mohammad Shami wreaked havoc, sharing 9 wickets between them. Bumrah scalped 6 wickets, becoming the first Indian pacer to do so in England in an ODI match. On the other hand, the strong opening pair in Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan helped India breeze past the target within just 20 overs and have taken a 1-0 lead in the series. And with that, it's a wrap. Stay tuned to Mirror now for more news and updates. My colleague Tabanna Inamdar joins you next.
Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel knows very well how to empower the farmers and the villagers. This is the reason why he started Narwa Garwa